Day 48, Min Beneath the Trees. Chapter 29, A Mighty Feat of Engineering. Eco 5, Twilight. Min heard Matilda gasp. So she's not above being shocked. The realization reassured Min. Her own reaction to this extraordinary concept was oddly cool, although she had some burning questions. Summoning up her courage, Min addressed the council. "May I ask you some questions?" she spoke respectfully. The 3 council trees swished their branches in assent. "When you say sink the valley, do you mean drown it in water or actually sink it, as in dropping it down below its current level?" "The latter," Shinare replied. Min took some time to digest this. She didn't know enough to question it further, so she went on. "You told us earlier that because some of you are older, you've accepted you must die. Why shouldn't you be safe too? Why should you die just because you've lived a certain span? Shouldn't all trees fight to live?" "Many of us still have much to contribute to our forest, and we have a long history to share. Still, our overwhelming concern is to ensure the longevity of the valley and the ecosystem by saving the new forest. If this means that trees of the older forest cannot be saved, then we are prepared to make that sacrifice. Still," added Cimarron, "if in your creative thinking you come up with some possibilities, we would be thrilled to hear them." "How interesting, the notion that we could fight," Glauderall mused. "And your other questions, Min?" Shinare changed the subject. "Why haven't you sunk the valley already? Wouldn't that achieve the first 2 points of your plan? Saving the radiance from the fires and ensuring the sanctity of the ecosystem?" "You are perceptive," Shinare sounded impressed. "We considered it. Sinking the valley is a mighty and complex task, even for Palia. She had to work out with Micah how to achieve it, since sinking the valley would interrupt her flow. We too had to think through the logistics of a changed valley floor and walls. How would this impact on our canopies? Would the sun still reach us? Would our flora and fauna still flourish? We can see how shocked you are at the magnitude of the concept. Perhaps you'll be comforted to know that the reaction when we voiced this staggering plan has already entered radiant law." Cimarron broke in. "We are used to hearing the constant burble of Micah's waters." In that instant, her waters stilled. Not a ripple was to be heard. No leaves stirred, the silver lights suspended themselves motionless in her waters, the flappers and wafters froze in mid-air, the buzzels stopped their eternal noise, not a claw, paw, fin or tail moved. We were shrouded in silence. In all our thousands of lumicycles in the valley, nothing like this had ever happened. We realized the sheer daring of our idea, and we were frightened. Min was frightened too. Fitland didn't look scared. Rather, he seemed intrigued. "I wonder if you could explain how in a sunken valley Micah would exit and not backfill it, creating a dam that would drown everything," he asked. "I'm terrified and he's practical," Min thought. "Isn't that why you are such good companions?" Flutter suggested. "Being terrified doesn't help anyone," Flick interjected. "Shush, I'm listening as you always say I must," Min replied. "A splendid question," Fitland Glauderall answered. "It was one we had to consider too. This is the plan we have come up with. First, we will sink the valley to the depth of Scalpel's footing. As the valley sinks in, it will pull the smaller ranges of hills on either side much closer in. Micah will cascade in several powerful waterfalls at the northern end of the valley. She'll also split into 2 deep and fast-flowing arms between the hills and either side of Glinterdell, making the Gorbals' access from the north and the sides virtually impossible." Shinray continued. "She'll keep her original course across the valley floor before entering new tunnels at the base of Scarpel. Like artesian springs, she'll bubble up on the southern side of Scarpel to create a lake adjacent to Lower Glinterdell, before exiting to continue her journey towards the Helios River. The water from the ravines will cascade down either side of Scarpel to flow into the lake too." Cimarron took over the commentary. "We were delighted when we realized that the lake will create a new ecosystem for water creatures and flora once established, and it will make the southern side of Scarpel inaccessible. All 4 sides protected, she concluded, sounding gleeful. Gladwell picked it up again. Parlia is already working on creating the new tunnels through Scalpel's Foot ahead of sinking the valley, and the 2 ravines down either side of Clinterdale. And she will erect a lock system across Micah's bed above the falls. In the event of a flood, the locks will be put in place, forcing the water into the ravines instead, to make sure Clinterdale is not inundated. You see, it's quite a feat of engineering, Chinneray finished up. Unable to contain his excitement at such a daring plan, Fitlin clapped his hands. "Brilliant," he said. "Absolutely brilliant. Don't you agree?" Ottlin nodded and clacked his beak in approval. Min's responses were shifting at such a speed, her thinking blurred. How could she even begin to process such weighty concepts? She wanted to sleep. "Chinneray, now that the Glyns have heard the first 3 parts of the plan, will you allow me to explain part 4, Ottlin asked. "Yes, we would be grateful," she answered. Min breathed in deeply. Her tired brain was in a tug of war. She was fighting sleep and the desire to forget it all. She also felt a deepening responsibility. She looked at the other Glyns. They seemed eager and interested. "Why am I the only one that's so exhausted?" "You're working harder, Min," Flick explained. "Listen now, it might not be so bad," Flutter comforted her. "And I'll see you beneath the trees tomorrow."